were talking earlier around the investment within this industry for deal making. What trends have you seen in your region around the competitiveness of this deal, and what are the investors looking for particularly?
Yeah, so thank you very much. I think if you look at Africa continent in general, there are some statistics that are quite revealing. The continent has got a population that's about 1/5 of the world population, about 20% of the world population. 30% of the world's mineral resources are based in Africa. But guess what? It is only 2% of the world's capital required for exploitation of the mineral that stays in Africa. 98% of the world's capital for mineral exploitation stays outside Africa. That means there's a cost for us to make deals in Africa rather than deals being made out of the continent and being brought here for exploitation. So what I've seen, investors are not doing this just for the sake of it. There's a reason why there's significant capital outside the continent. And some of the things that they have mentioned, or most of the investors that we've engaged, are the lack of clarity in our regulation. Our tax laws are not clear. We are inconsistent with our policies. So year on year, successive governments are changing policies year on year, and that gives a lot of concern to investors. Where there's uncertainty, no capital goes there.
The competitiveness of these deals, maybe what have you seen with your clients, especially in the southern side of Africa? Are you seeing more clients or more companies moving into these deals for growth and to become more competitive and actually combining assets?
Thanks. So what I've seen is, I think with the journey towards clean energy, towards green economy, mining houses are looking to diversify their portfolios,
Yes.
right? And especially those who in the coal business,
Yeah.
right? They are looking at different sets of minerals, of different assets, but everyone is doing it, so everyone is chasing the same assets, right? So everyone is also competing for the same capital, which makes it very highly competitive. So it then becomes important for mining houses to distinguish themselves, right? So investors are looking, I mean, Yael did say now, investors are looking for companies that can prove that the ROI is there. But that's just one part, the return on the shareholder value. The other critical one that investors are looking at is the ESG performance.
Okay.
Right? So whilst one is seeing a spike in the M&A activity, but I think mining houses should look at other think outside of the traditional investment boxes. Joint ventures, a possibility, the alliances, the partnerships. So I think because we're competing for the same assets, same capital, we need to think broadly and make sure that our houses are in order, to attract the investors.
I'm glad you mentioned JVs, alliances, and partnerships. So why maybe those kinds of arrangements or business arrangements are not that attractive to the industry? Why are they not using those alliances or partnerships to maybe as a start to these kinds of big M&A transactions? Isn't that an option to start there?
I think it is, because if you remember,
relationships,
to form those relationships. But I think it's also in the search of the type of a deal. I mean, I don't think that the M&A transactions and consolidations it's going to take a dip, anytime soon. But I think it's there because, again, I'm going to go back to this point of the competition of the same assets, the same capital. It's forcing the mining houses to think more broadly. So you're going to see a whole lot more of partnerships, a lot of joint ventures. It's starting to open.
Okay.